our community is going to go through pain. Our community is going to go through cruelty. That is not what anyone voted for. And in fact, I will tell the American electorate, if the administration, if the incoming Trump administration goes through this, here's the people that they're going to go after. They're going to go after your kids' classmates. They're going to go after your delivery guy. They're going to go after the people who take care of your kids. They're going to go after the people who work in restaurants. They're going to go after the business owners in your community. They're going to go after the people who work and who own the farmers markets that you love going to on weekends. This is going to be a snapshot of incredible pain and cruelty. And this is, again, they tried to do a semblance of this in 2017, and we saw the backlash. So, I'm saying if this is what you all think you have the mandate for, go for it. You're going to see very quick and very horrifically the kind of backlash you're going to get.
Now that Trump has named his former acting ICE director and Project 2025 contributor Tom Homan as border czar, strategists are speculating on exactly what his promised mass deportation will look like. But without speculating, all you have to do is listen to what Homan is saying.
I've been clear, President Trump's been clear. Public safety threats and national security threats will be the priority because they have to be. They pose the most danger to this country. So we're going to prioritize those groups, those who always have final orders, those that had due process at great taxpayer expense, and the federal judge says you must go home, and they didn't. They became a fugitive. So, and as far as worksite operations have to happen. Here's why, Steve. Where do we find most victims of sex trafficking and forced labor trafficking? At work sites. And the Biden administration shut down work sites. On one point, they say we care about sex trafficking and human trafficking. Then they shut down work site enforcement, which is one of the main areas we find the victims of this. I want to add one more thing, another priority. This administration has lost over 300,000 children that were smuggled in this country by criminal cartels they can't find. That's another priority. We need to save these children because some of these children are in forced labor, some of these children are in sex trafficking, some of these children are living a life of hell every day, and we need to save these children and get them back with their families.
This is the same person that said he doesn't give a shit, his words, not mine, about people coming after him for the first Trump administration's policy of family separation. So while we wait for their plan to take shape, the promises and targets have such a wide range, it's hard to tell. But he did say the focus is on going back to workplace raids.
I don't think people voted for a cost of almost $100 billion that you all are going to spend if, in fact, you are going to deport the 12 to 15 million, some people in your party think it's 20 million, undocumented immigrants that are here. Go after the criminals, absolutely. And in fact, that's what every administration has done. But can you actually tell me that Trump's CEO friends are not going to go crazy when he goes after the undocumented immigrants who actually pick fruits and vegetables? They're going to say, what the hell are you doing with my workforce? This is an administration that has no clue what is about to happen. They are clueless in terms of the real world effects of something like this. They are clueless in terms of real immigration policy and how it affects communities and what the actual solutions are. Giancarlo, you know very well that mass deportation is not a solve for immigration, and we need a solve. And the real solve for immigration is absolutely making sure that there's strong border security, but you also have to have expanded legal pathways.
It seems like the idea is to continue to frame their focus as going after the criminals, with no real indication as that they can identify who the criminals are, but they assume as long as people hear the criminal part, no one will worry about the collateral damage that comes with it. Now, Maria Cardona there won't get much support when she talks about undocumented workers that do many jobs that support multiple workforces in the country because they're being exploited for low wages, which should lead us to recognize that maybe these employers that take advantage of these folks are a big part of the problem that Trump and Homan never really set their sights on, mostly because Trump is supportive of these companies.
We're going to close the border and we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out, and we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different things, and the farmers need, everybody needs.
He said, we're going to let a lot of people in because we're going to need more people for the farmers and for everybody. He supports using undocumented folks for the benefit of these companies' bottom line, but also wants to target workplaces to find the criminals. Something's got to give. But since the only thing that should give is that we force employers to start paying people livable wages that don't result in them passing along increased prices for those goods, there's a decent chance this will be a mess, or simply the same kind of deportation practices that we've had under Democratic presidents, if not even less. So here's the boring, fact-based portion of the complicated process of mass deportations that Americans are too distracted to pay attention to. During his first term, Trump also promised mass deportations, and he did deport a large number of people, more than 1.5 million during his 4 years in office. But that's about half the 2.9 million deportations taken during Barack Obama's first term, and fewer than the 1.9 million deportations during Obama's second term. It's on par with Biden's 1.49 million deportations. Byers' research has revealed that Trump's tough approach during his first term had some unintended consequences. For instance, rather than prioritizing the removal of people with criminal records, Trump widened his dragnet by putting less emphasis on immigration action against people who were deemed public safety threats, and instead prioritizing action against everyone in the country illegally. This led to Trump's controversial family separation policy. While Trump is sure to authorize the kind of raids that'll get public notice and include deporting people who have family members in the U.S., the system is so overwhelmed right now that Trump's actions may not lead to a dramatic uptick in deportations. Creating a system of camps to accommodate some portion of the more than 11 million people Trump says he wants to deport and dwarf the current total federal and state prison population, to say nothing of the cost of detaining so many people while they have their day in court. Quote, the idea that they're going to be able to quickly set up the infrastructure to carry out deportations by the millions is just fantasy thinking. In other words, he'll be looking at creating enormous internment camps that border agencies can't facilitate or operate, considering there are currently only 41,000 beds in detention centers. He'll then have to either propose spending ungodly amounts of money on creating these camps, which don't pop up in a day and are sure to be even more inhumane than we've seen in the past, or simply circumvent people's day in court and just deport millions, calling them all violent criminals the way he did on the campaign trail. Tom Homan better be pulling off more than just widespread threats if he thinks this promise of mass deportations will work, because right now it's not looking very feasible, considering nuance and circumstances don't seem to be his strong suit.
While we're out prioritizing the public safety threats and national security threats, if you want to self-deport, you should self-deport, because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you. So if you want to self-deport, that's fine. But criminals and gang members, they get no favors from this administration. You came to this country illegally, which is a crime. You committed crimes against the United States citizens, some heinous crimes. You get no grace period, so we're coming for you. But for those others, the non-criminals, if you want to self-deport, I'm all for it. Because when they self-report, they can put their orders, put everything in order, their family business, if they got homes or whatever, they can put all that in order and leave with their family altogether. It makes perfect sense for the ones that are not criminals.